me ask a question. If you can't stand social media, just raise your hand. If you feel like it's a waste, let's just be 100 real quick. If you can't stand Facebook, if you hate the social media, let me see your hand. Put it up high. Respect, a lot of respect for you guys, and I get it. At one point in time, I hated social media, and I've actually tried to study this thing a little bit over the past 2 years. And you know, historically, when the radio came out in the 1920s and 30s, like people were probably a little bit intimidated by, wait, you're in Washington, D.C. and I can hear you? And then in the 1940s and 50s when the black and white TV came out, you're like, wait a minute. The Wizard of Oz, I can see this, right? So respectfully, as I said earlier, this is not going away. We will benefit from taking the time to learn it and to be intentional about it. So short plug, you can find information about Ohio Gap Closers on all of those platforms. And it's the same name everywhere. So it's OhioGapClosers.com, Ohio Gap Closers on Twitter, Ohio Gap Closers on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, it's all there. Now, back to your question. Because you got a kid and you want to know how does this work.
My grandson, he's 10 years old, he got a phone, he got an Instagram account.
Yes, sir.
And I was asking my daughter, you know he has an Instagram account? She said, yeah. And I was like, why you letting him on that? That's videos and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I asked her, why does he have an Instagram account at 10 years old? And she said, all kids have it.
Yeah, all kids don't. I think 10's probably too early. But I think what I really, and my wife and I are opposite. We're black and white. She hates it, I love it. I do it too much, I get it. So I do think you want to slow down on doing it too early with children because they've got to build up that self-esteem first. They got to know themselves a little bit first because you can meet some pretty bad people if you don't know yourself, if you don't have self-esteem, and if you don't have adults around you to shield you from the world. It's not social media's fault. It's the bad guy's fault. And they're in the world with a phone or without a phone. There's always been negative things that happen. I think social media exposes some of what already happens. And so that's my own personal stance. I know that's contradictory with a lot of people. In a school setting, if a student is wanting something, they know how to advocate or they don't know how to advocate. I encourage you all to become e-parents so you can advocate electronically because on the other side of that email, I don't know if I'm talking to one person, if that one person's an attorney, I don't know if I'm talking to a community of people, but I've got to respect it as a professional educator and as a school administrator. And so, although I respect what's being yelled at me in the hallway and in the lunchroom, and I know you're mad at the football game on Friday night, but I encourage you to get into that e-parenting world because that's going to provide a little bit stronger voice when you deal with systems. So I don't think you should run away from tech. I don't think you should run away from social media. I think you should spend time studying and learning how to use it.
Dr. Wise, this will be our final question.
Yeah, well, here's a comment.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about to do something.
Yes.
Would it be a good idea if we had class on social media for grandparents or something like that, old people, whatever? Because part of what George's frustration is not that I'm thinking, is not just that his grandchild is on it, but I don't know what it is. So, well, yeah, so how do we, maybe that's something we can put together to have a class just for an intentionality for older people to be able to know how to use their phone like I don't, to know all of these platforms, to know how to deal with them. And if we do that away from our children as opposed to having our children teach them to us, then that gives us mad cred when we actually talk to them.
I love it. I think that would be that'd be a really wise decision to do that. I would highly encourage going down that path. But what I would also try to reiterate is you don't know Instagram, but you know your son.
Right.
So, and I think there's a scripture that says train them up in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. There's some truth to that because these technology platforms are scary, but the truth is the technology is going to be one step ahead of us. The children are always going to be cooler than we are. So we will never have that 100% control we want. And if we think we got it 100%, we set ourselves up for disappointment. So we got to just spend time knowing our kids and spending time with our kids and loving our kids so we can trust our kids to use these platforms to go out and start a bracelet business like my 12-year-old, or to go out and advocate for the kid being bullied across the room. So don't be afraid of the tech. Spend time knowing your kids and then study because that equips you to have a better conversation.